This is on Google Hangouts right now. Oh man. Um Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm sorry this is like at like 2:37 in the morning. Could not sleep again. So I am doing a hangout here live on the air. Um a lot's happened here today. Um Apparently Hulk Hogan is branded a racist for shit he said 9 years ago. He's like the wrestling world's version of Paula Dean, I guess. And that he basically, why can't I, there we go. He basically he said stuff 9 years ago. It's on video, and yet this is hitting him now. So I don't know what's going on with Hulk Hogan and Gawker, and did TMZ play a role in what this person was supposed to say and what that person was not supposed to say. And all I know is it's pretty messed up for the Hulkster. He was pushing for a match at Mania. Um, this year, the rumors were circling that it was going to be Hogan and Austin. We always get those rumors, but I doubt that will be the case now, of course, because they pulled a Chris Benoit, and they basically have taken away any mention of Hogan on that website or in that company whatsoever. And it kind of pains me because and we're going to do, Pat King Firehawk is going to do a I think Pat and Rick are all going to do a little bit of a round table. And Pat wants the dick and fart jokes from Rick, but I kind of wanted to be serious. Um, Talking about this and what this means for the company and what this means for somebody like Pat, who was an avid Hogan fan. Um, there are a lot of people out there that are gonna sit there and defend Hogan over this, and I'm like, in this day and age, and they picked the right time to release this shit for real. They picked the right time to release this. They picked because with everything that's going on with the South and the Confederate flag and the racism and the Ferguson thing and everything, oh my God, they ever picked the right time to release this crap about Hogan. Um, no time is the right time, obviously, to sit there and shame a man's career. But then again, Hogan didn't even know he was being filmed at the time as well. So you got to kind of have that into play. Or did he know he was filmed? I'm not quite sure if he knew he was being filmed or not. Um, they they don't know. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the case. I know that a lot of people out there. I saw a video on Twitter of a guy tearing down a Hulk Hogan poster on his wall, and of course, saying he's never going to do anything, see or do, go to anything with Hogan ever again. And if they, it makes me wonder what Hogan fans who grew up with Hulk and with the training, the saying the prayers, eating the vitamins, anybody can do this, blah, 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 and what this means for them now. I mean, obviously it's a character, but Hogan has kind of lived through that character in recent years. And it's pretty much one and the same. He's kind of tried to portray that image as one and the same. And if he had issues with his daughter and everything, he's like, I pretty much broke myself funding her music career. Dude, you chose to do that. Okay? She's not that good to begin with. I mean, name me the first thing that she's been in since Hogan Knows Best. Or since she did that deal with Bully Ray where Bully Ray turned on her and joined Aces and Eights on Impact. That's the last thing that everybody saw ever, that's the last thing Brooke was in. You chose to sit there and shovel your money down her throat, getting her into that world, knowing what that world was like, and then you got a thing to say about it because, oh, people in that world are black. No, duh. Anyway, there's photos out there circulating the internet of, Andre the Giant taking the body slam in thin air because apparently WWE has released all forms of Hogan. Um, I don't know really what to make of this. I was never a big Hogan fan to begin with. I'll be honest. I chose, either the heels or I would choose, Warrior somewhere like somebody with a little bit more validity to them. Validity to the Warrior, yeah. Well, here I was growing up fat and overweight, and the training, saying the prayers and eating the vitamins deal wasn't working for me. So you have to wonder there, it really makes me wonder what Hogan fans think of all this. What true Hogan fans? I mean, that's why I'm doing this audio roundtable deal with Pat and Rick on Sunday. Is that I want to know what Pat thinks about this because Pat's probably the biggest Hulkamania fan I know. I mean, if you bash Hogan, Pat's like, come on, biggest guy in the business. Yeah, he's the biggest guy in the business, and now we find out that the guy who the kids believed in all that year comes out and blatantly says he's a racist. Well, everybody's a racist, brother. No, come on. I wonder if this means that Rick has to go, or that I have to go through every other episode of New Surge Live because Rick called me Saltine McCracker. If that's going to offend somebody, the pussification of the world continues. It was known 10 years ago that these comments existed. Why now all of a sudden is something being said about it? Why now is a big fuss being made over it? Nobody knows for sure. Because people from Gawker and people from TMC and people who are trying to defend themselves here know exactly what they were doing. They knew that this would cause Hogan to get an egg on his face, get the proverbial black eye, and people like Gawker and everybody just want to stay in business. And what really kills me about this is that how does this, tapes and transcripts got out there, they were leaked. These tapes, from my impression, were now court documents, evidence. It was sealed away. Nobody had access to this except for attorneys and the courts. So how did this transcript leak? And Hogan's attorneys even come out and say, hey, if we find out that, this was Gawker that leaked this, we're going to bury him. Because now we got him for obstruction of justice, contempt of court, leaking evidence, all this crap. You got him on about maybe 3 or 4 different charges. The whole deal with Booker T happening too, that's been all over YouTube today. I just find this whole thing, like, it's not surprising that Hogan would make comments like this because, come on, he's from behind the curtain. Now we know what the true Hulk Hogan in real life, what the personal life of Hulk Hogan is really like from this. The character of saying your prayers, eating your right, nobody could take that ever seriously ever again. Oh, man. I don't see how this is anything but bad for Hogan. It's bad for WWE because WWE now has erased Hogan. From what I've seen, they've erased him from their title histories. They've erased him from the Hall of Fame. I mean, somebody told me if you go to WWE's website and look on the Hall of Fame section there, Hogan's not there. The guy who is probably the biggest money draw in that company's history has been erased from that history. Does it really need to go that far? Probably not. Should he have been fired from his Legends contract and the Tough Enough thing immediately? Yes. But do you have to totally alienate the guy from what he did in the ring? It's a lot different than the Chris Benoit situation because Chris Benoit murdered somebody. Hogan just said the N word a couple times and admitted that he was a racist. You know what? Also, people got to remember Hogan was probably born and raised in an entirely different time. Let me see here. Let me see if he can join this, Jeff. And WWE heard about the transcripts earlier, like at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like right after Jeff Edwards messaged me. I start getting up the next morning and get online, and apparently WWE, they're entertainment, man. Apparently somebody gave WWE the heads up, going, "Hey, this is going to come out soon. You may want to get ready for the shitstorm that comes with it." I don't think they've heard it. I know that they said that transcripts are out there and the audio clips are out there. I haven't heard it. I don't want to hear it. I just think that there's a lot of crap here that kind of. I mean, this is evidence. This is leaked evidence that should have been sealed up by now. It's like you don't sit there and if you have a convicted killer on your hands, you don't sit there and just take the murder weapon and show it to everybody and go, "Here it is. Look at the blood." No, the courts take that murder weapon, they tag it and bag it and seal it up. Nobody gets to, it's locked in a courtroom police station or somewhere like that. I don't know. But then again, people have known about this for years. Why now bring it up again? Because you know that in this day and time, with the pussification of America and with the way people are acting, that this was going to cause a stir and this is going to save your website. I'm not saying what Hulk Hogan did was valid. I'm not saying what Hulk Hogan did was, forgivable. Hogan's never going to come back from this. Hogan's done. His restaurant now, that beach thing is going to that beach restaurant that he's got, that's going to close within a week. Anything involving the Hall of Fame, we'll see his Hall of Fame ring on eBay trying to sell for $1 million. No one's going to buy it. And this, also stems on a day where there was a hell of a lot more news. I feel sorry for everybody else out there in the world of professional wrestling, like Global Force, like Ring of Honor, TNA. I think had tapings tonight. I have not seen one blurb about those tapings so far. Death Before Dishonor barely gets a mention tonight. Amped barely gets a mention. I had to go on a News with a Z site to find the Amped taping results because all I read about all day long was this Hogan crap. complete overshadowing of this business, and it's scary to think about something how a 60 something 50 something year old man who can barely move anymore attracts this amount of attention in 2015. That's what gets me. Well, Joe, you're talking about it. I know. I'm a podcaster. It's my job to talk about these things. So I don't know what to make of all this. I mean, I'm keep searching for Impact. There was Impact tapings tonight, wasn't there? And then Hogan goes out there and apologizes too. Oh Lord, Toughen Up's Patrick is hitting the indie scenes. You contact Maryland Championship Wrestling to book that guy. There you go. A guy who's had maybe a couple months worth of training. Go see what he's doing. Death Before Dishonor, I have not watched that yet. I'm looking to watch that tomorrow. Shine even had a pay per view. The women's promotion, Shine, which I think is Shimmer's sister promotion, had a match tonight, or had a pay per view tonight. Like you go to PW Insider right now, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of their 10 headlines are about Hulk Hogan. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of their top 10. Half of it. Half of the top 10 headlines on a major wrestling website are about Hulk Hogan. That's crazy. Bully Ray, I want to talk a little bit about Bully Ray here. I didn't, it figures I released my podcast on probably one of the busiest news days of the week. They're claiming Bully Ray's storyline as the TNA GM was never meant to be long term. Then why the hell do it? They say they taped something to explain this. Well, again, gains, short passes. TNA needs a Hail Mary right now, a successful one. I'm not saying hot shotting anybody, but if I was them, I would be knocking on CM Punk's door right now, going, "Look, after you lose that UFC fight, maybe you need to come on back over here because he'll never go back to WWE." Breaking news coming out of the GFW tapings: Kevin Cross's shoulder was separated in a match with Bobby Roode. Says he's heading to the hospital. And they keep sitting there going, Daniel Bryan reacts to Hulk Hogan's getting. Who the hell cares what Daniel Bryan thinks about Hulk Hogan? There's no news. Did TNA even have a taping tonight? And Brooke Hogan releases his big long poem, and then you got all the people like George Foreman going, he's not a racist. I've known him for years, man. Am I sad that he said this shit 10 years ago? Yeah, but it's 10 years, 9 years ago. And who's to say that Hogan wasn't drunk at the time he was banging Bubba the Love Sponge's wife? Vince McMahon has been missing SmackDown tapings. Well, that's evident. I think he's been missing SmackDown tapings for the last maybe 15 years. That show's not really important to him anyway. If they could cancel it, they would probably. Biggest shocker of this Hogan thing was Dennis Rodman coming out on Twitter saying, hey, Hogan's not a racist, man. You got all these people, all these African Americans coming out going, Hogan's not racist. I've known him for years. He's always been cool with me. So what if he said a couple of bad words that he shouldn't have said, you know? And this throws a monkey wrench into the Tough Enough plans. How do they explain this on TV? Or do they just go, oh, here's our new judge? Wow, that's crazy, man. TNA. Wow. Apparently, the casino where GFW is holding out their TV tapings was sending out tickets to people, yes, or sending out emails to people who have their cards, like the casino cards, sending out free tickets. So apparently this was heavily papered. And from this picture I could see here, they were shooting like promos in the back. I could see that they have a screen set up with the Global Force Wrestling thing where they could shoot promos in the back and everything. Hey, the point is that they came. You know, Lucha Underground papered probably. I mean, nobody had to pay probably to get into Lucha Underground, and look at them every week. So hell, you go to a damn David Letterman show when he's doing his shit, you can get in for free. Oh, here we go. One night only and explosion footage. I feel sorry for the people going to these first 3 nights of taping. Nothing happens. I'm not going to read these spoilers out here because I just apparently they're bringing back TNA Genesis. I'll say that much. And this Jesse Goddard's guy must be really impressing people. But a couple matches on here actually interest me. Hmm. Thanks to Jeff Edwards for sending that along. Thank you. But the fact that GFW was sending out people, you know, how I wonder how many tickets they were offering per card member. That's amazing that they papered the arena like that, but oh well. Hmm. I know it's dead air. Oh man, I'm getting ready to go to bed anyway. I think that I've had enough drama for one day. Good news is I got the shift that I wanted at work. The earliest or the latest I'll be getting off is 6:30 in the evening now, and I'm off every single Sunday. The bad news is every Saturday I have to work, so I won't be going to many indie shows unless I get off at like 5 o'clock. The crazy part is that the earliest that they could start me would be 5, 4. It'd be 7, so I could essentially work a 7 to 3:30 shift. Work a 7 to 3:30 on a Saturday is not that bad, actually. Still got time to go do stuff. And see, I'm kind of leery to read these spoilers, um, because I'm trying to figure out which of these are for an Impact taping. Do they use these matches in case somebody pulls another Hernandez and they have to stick something in there for filler? Are these for Impact? Looks like they're bringing an old match back, which I never really got the point of. What the? All right, I'm going to read this to you, and this is right here. This is so backwards. This is so. To those watching, I don't care if you get spoiled with this. This is stupid. DJ Zima defeated Tigre Uno and Manic in a reverse elimination match. DJ defeated Manic and got to leave the ring, winning the match. Tigre and Manic then wrestled until Tigre pinned Manic to win second place. And people wonder why I get the urge to do the Wrestle Rock Rumble sometimes. This shit's why. Reverse elimination match. I'm not making that up, folks. Unless this guy who wrote this is entirely just stupid and didn't want paying attention. But I wouldn't put it past TNA. Wasn't TNA the ones that did the reverse battle royal? First one to get out of the ring wins. Oh man. This right here amazes me. This takes the cake reading that. I just read that and I was like, what? It makes you just want to look at them with, like a dog with his head cocked to the, huh? Makes you want to look at him and go, what happened? What happened to you? It's called Jim Herd Jr. happened. What's next? Jim Herd Jr. gets her head shaved? Oh, man. Roddy Piper's commenting on Hogan's racist comments, of course. But anyway, I'm going to get off here for the evening and head to bed. It's 3 o'clock. I got to be up in 5 hours. 4 hours. Trying to train myself into getting up early now because I have to start being up early as 8:30 in the morning. Or even as early as 7, actually, to start work. And it takes a while to get this computer ready for work with loading all the tools that I need to use during the day. But I'm going to start feeling less like a vampire, apparently. So the fact that I'm off every Sunday and Monday, I don't know how that's going to affect New Surge Live. But we'll try it. I do have my evenings to record now, so I could get shit done now as they happen. I get to watch Raw live every Monday night, so that's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I'm getting off here, guys. Thank you for watching this. Sorry for so much dead air, but hey, it is 2 o'clock in the morning when I started here. So if you have any comments, leave them below. Hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. It's down right here at Wrestling Truck. And I will probably follow you back unless you're one of those people that are like, buy my makeup. Watch my makeup video on YouTube. I'll watch it to see how pretty you are before, and I can make a comment on that. But when you start putting the goop on your face, ladies, that's when you really screw the pooch. That's just my opinion. You know, Lana posted a photo of her without makeup, and I think she looked better than when she has makeup on, but that's just my opinion. But that's another show. So we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.